Hello, guys. Welcome to Healthy Living with Vincent. Today, I want to touch on a topic that I have titled Diabetes, Heart Disease, Strokes, and Cancer are one. Now, what do I mean by this? In my last or previous posts, I talked about the carboholism society or the carboholic individual, an individual that is eating too much refined foods to the point that they can't control it any longer. But today I am going to touch on this topic that I have titled Diabetes, Heart Disease, Strokes, and Cancer are one. Now, when you eat too much of these refined foods, what you are actually doing to yourself is that, like I've explained, the refined foods have a lot of refined sugars in them, and these sugars have an impact on your pancreas, making it to dump so much insulin into your system. And when this insulin is in your system, trying to take the sugar out of your blood into your muscles and the liver to store them for when you need them, now the excess insulin stops a lot of processes in your body, and one of the major ones that it stops is fat metabolism. Your body cannot burn two forms of energy at the same time. It would either burn sugar and stop the fat, or when it's burning the fats, then that means you don't need the sugar. The sugar burning process is when you actually need an instant supply of energy. So your body will burn the sugar to give you an instant energy. But when it comes to the fats, it's when you are actually doing something that doesn't need an instant energy, like when you are at rest and your organs are all functioning, your body is using the fats to generate the energy. Sugar is toxic to your blood. Anything more than 1 teaspoonful of sugar in your blood, your whole blood can only handle about a teaspoon and a little bit over of sugar at any time, because your brain needs it and other parts that needs it to function when you need it. Now, if you eat a lot of sugary foods, what you do is that the insulin that is remaining, or the excess insulin, inhibits fat metabolism. Now, when fat metabolism is inhibited, what is the obvious sign? The obvious sign is that you start to put on weight, then obesity. Then what happens is that when the amount of fat that is in your body is high, cholesterol, which is a fat hormone, would also have to be elevated. So your liver will produce a lot more cholesterol, because cholesterol is a fat hormone. Now, cholesterol transported from your liver to your cells by a lipoprotein that is called the low density lipoprotein, takes it to your cell. When it gets to your cells, a lot of things can happen there. It delivers the fat that is attached to it to the cells, and during that process, because the amount of fat in your body is high, you can easily experience oxidation of these lipoproteins that will lead to the cholesterol depositing there, especially if you are suffering from high blood pressure, where the blood is flowing at a higher speed, can cause micro injuries that will then lead to this oxidation, leading to the deposition of fats and cholesterol on your blood vessels that carry the blood. So what happens then is, over a period of time, you'll be building up what we call atheroma. Atheroma is accumulation of fat on your blood vessels. Now, over time, this can cause a situation where the blood vessels become less elastic, and leading to peripheral resistance to blood flow, because the elasticity of the blood vessel has been affected. Also, it narrows the tubes or the blood vessels such that you don't have enough blood flowing through the vessels to reach your heart muscles, that can lead to heart failure and cardiac arrest and a diseased blood vessel. All these together we call heart diseases, simply coming from the fact that you are eating a high amount of sugar, which is causing this problem. Diabetes A diabetic is the one who has eaten so much sugar that the pancreas has become overwhelmed and now it can't produce enough insulin, or if it is producing enough insulin, your body cells are not recognizing the insulin. And so what happens? The pancreas begins to pack up because it is overwhelmed by the amount of insulin it has to produce on a daily basis. Now, insulin is a very powerful hormone, and you can't afford to be running on insulin every single day of your life. It's only a matter of time before the pancreas packs up and you can't control the amount of sugar in your blood. And that is what leads to diabetes and its own problems that comes with it, simply from controlling refined sugars. This can easily happen. Now, what about strokes? Now, people with stroke are the same people who are already suffering heart diseases, or they've got a diseased blood vessel which is so narrowed to the point that this atheroma, these clots or plaques of fat can break off, and when it breaks off from the blood vessel, it will dislodge or lodge itself in a major blood vessel that supplies to your brain. And what happens is that your brain cells or the area affected can begin to die, leading to various areas going into paralysis and even sometimes including the speech, depending on which area is affected by the blockade. Now, cancer, the same thing is happening. We are living in an environment where we've got a lot of pollution around us. The food we eat is so polluted. And so what happens? These chemicals, this pollution, what do? They lodge themselves, they love fat cells. So they live in the fat cells that is in your body. And if you're eating a lot of sugar, you've got a lot more accumulation of fats, like I explained. And so these cells, when they live in the cells, the fat cells, what will happen is that you become a chemical warehouse. It is only a matter of time before these chemicals begin to change or affect or mutate the DNA in these cells, that will then lead to cell multiplication beyond control, leading to a tumor somewhere in your body. Now, you can see how all these four conditions, diabetes, heart diseases, stroke, and cancer, are all coming from just a repeated intake of refined sugar, causing you to have pancreas that is packed up, leading to diabetes, causing you to have cholesterol in your blood vessels that gets oxidized and causes atheroma or plaques in the blood vessels, leading to a blocked blood vessel that also then leads to a stroke when these plaques break off and block major vessels that supply your brain. And also, we are talking about toxins that then gets into these fat cells that you have stored as a result of high amounts of sugar, then leading to cancer, because cancer is only from chemicals. And a lot of times we say the genetics. Yes, genetics affects a few people in the population, but even with genetics, we can switch off the genes that causes these conditions to express by our lifestyle. And so reducing sugar or removing sugar totally from your meal is all you need to do to avoid all these four conditions I've just called. Now, your body is not trying to get sick. Your body is not sick. God says in His Word that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our body is perfect. It is always trying to heal itself. Our job is to help it to heal. I'll see you in my next video, and God bless you as you continue to listen to these vital tips that I'm giving you that will help you for your own good. See you, and God bless. Bye.